everybody, welcome back to the channel. I guess I should be saying that to myself. It's been, oh my gosh, since mid-May. I am so sorry for my very, very prolonged absence. I have a reason though, I have a really good reason. So yes, I was sick. That little community update wasn't lying. But the other reason is that, so I work 6 days a week, like 70 hours, and the one day that I have off is Sunday. And what I was doing is on Sundays, I would take a couple hours to just sit, write a script, do a little bit of research, hang out, and I would kind of do that throughout my day. I'd record at the end of the day or on Mondays or sometimes Tuesdays, as my video editor would sell me out and say, but that I would send that audio over. And Sundays became totally full because adopting. I am a mom. My partner and I are adopting through the foster care system, and it's a whole big process, and so you do a lot of visits. And so we were seeing our soon-to-be daughter. She calls me bestie. I call her bestie. It's very sweet. But my bestie, we were visiting her every Sunday, and now she is slowly but surely transitioning into living with us, and I'm slowly but surely transitioning into, not working 70 hours a week, but just having one kind of full-time work from home thing. And oh my gosh, anyway, so I'm talking way too much about that. But hi, thank you so much for not just abandoning me. I was a little concerned that I was just gonna have maybe 2 people when I came back, but there's more of you, which is crazy. I don't know who was subbing here when I hadn't posted in so long, but you're pretty dope. Hello, welcome, thank you. Thank you for helping me reach 800. Oh my gosh, it's surreal. It's so good to be back now that schedule stuff has gotten more manageable, which you wouldn't think you would say after kind of adopting a kid. But hey, now that schedule stuff has gotten more manageable, I should be able to go back to weekly posting. Anyway, long-winded rant. I wanted to talk a little bit today about vampires again. Now, no, before you click away and say, what the heck, Amanda? This is not the same as the last one I did. I actually knew a little bit about this and was going to talk about it as kind of a part 2 to the last episode I did, but this is, I don't want to say it's not that I think I could do it justice, but it's that it's a really touchy topic. And yeah, anyway, we're just gonna dive right into it because it is a topic. So in case you didn't see the old one, very briefly, just gonna say vampire myths were really popular in Eastern Europe, and the word vampire kind of originates from there. Digging up bodies, still being alive, nails and hair growing after death, stuff like that is all what kind of fed into a lot of Eastern vampire folklore, like Eastern Europe, things like that. So that's still the case. However, there's a whole other side of vampirism, words. There's a whole other side of vampires that we don't really talk about this, and it all has to do with anti-Semitism. And as a Jewish person, I feel like I can speak on this at least with just a tiny little bit of personal experience. So anti-Semitic stereotypes are usually like, oh, greedy and hook noses and frizzy hair and all of those things, which, really you get tired of hearing. But the literary depiction of Dracula is like exactly that. And that's not saying, oh, vampires shouldn't exist, vampires as a concept or are totally horrible, because a lot of deep-rooted folklore isn't actually that way, but a lot of vampires as we know them can be that way, at least in the US, which I find really messed up but really interesting too, because so many of us, I think, love vampires as a concept in general, so to not even know about this whole dark, frustrating side to them it interests me. Somebody on Twitter, she posted a thread about it, so I wanted to kind of go over what they said. It's, I believe their name, I'm so sorry if I'm saying it wrong, Decky maybe, on Twitter. They're an author that I follow, and her thread is really interesting. I'm going to read a little bit of that now. I am begging people, if you write vampires, please be aware that many of the vampire tropes have anti-Semitic origins, and please research these. If I see one more book with vampires trying to control the world through their secret cabal, I am going to scream. These are anti-Jews conspiracy theories that Bram Stoker brought into vampire mythology specifically to get British people to hate Jews and to stop our immigration. Did you know cultures all around the world have vampire myths? Do you know that none of those have secret cabals? Even Victorian British vampires do not have plans to control the world until Bram Stoker's Dracula inserted anti-Semitism into vampires. Vampires were hugely popular before Dracula was published. Bram Stoker specifically connected blood-drinking vampires with the Jewish blood libel, the conspiracy theory that we drink Christian blood for Passover. He then inserted even more anti-Semitic conspiracies, such as the secret cabal to control the world, not to mention Dracula's money hoarding, stereotypical Jewish physical features like having a hooked nose, Eastern European origins, and an accent. You do not have to keep hate in your vampire story. You can write it out. So there's a little bit more. Go check out that thread if you're interested. But I did my research into it because I was really curious how accurate this is. And yeah, turns out, I mean, this history is really, really long. I've only heard bits and pieces of it, but there is so much there. From what I can summarize and from what I've gathered, yeah, vampirism and vampires and things of that nature used to be kind of Black Plague, Living Dead, things of that nature, and it wasn't until Bram Stoker inserted that anti-Semitic opinion that our view of vampires became a lot more narrow. So, Jews and blood, for example, drinking Christian blood at Passover, that's not at all a thing, but that's something that was assumed, was thought of, which is pretty ridiculous, but it's this whole accusation of human sacrifice performed for obtaining the blood of a victim for ritual purposes. Just creepy and gross and does not happen, but that sort of disgusting anti-Semitism morphed into, okay, now vampires are gonna drink blood for ritual purposes. And people also had that whole concept of, oh, Jewish people are very, sexually deviant, and then that's why Dracula was also that way. And then also in those old books, he was described as, hook nose and frizzy hair and things of that nature. So again, absolutely do some of your own research into it. I'm just kind of here to summarize. I am going to provide links, but I found that super fascinating and super disappointing, and I just wanted to, I guess, give that kind of little update to say, hey, I talked about vampires before and a lot of their origins, but did you know the origins of the Dracula that you've heard of are probably not what you think. So I'm sorry that this one wasn't quite as well thought out or scripted as normal. oh my gosh, life is chaos, but I am happy to be back. I am happy to be talking to you guys. I'm gonna do some ghost stories next week. If there are any ghost stories in particular that you want me to cover, let me know and I will absolutely do so. But thank you so much. It's good to be back, and one of you, I will not name names, but one of you lovely subscribers actually sent me a very sweet email being like, hey, are you coming back? We miss you, what's up? And that prompted me to be like, okay, hurry up and go record this, because I've had this bouncing in my head but haven't actually said anything. So thank you for that message. That was actually really sweet. And yeah, I'll see you guys again very soon. Thank you. Bye.